Hey y'all, new day, new opportunity to gather together. And I know this week we've been talking about greed. And so up front, I know we'd be discussing money today, so I wanted to just toss this up front. I grew up a Trekkie. I know pop culture is like, oh, it's space communism. In the Trek world, it's a meritocracy, not communism. Money doesn't exist, so the only way that people have those places is based on actually do it. You know, why do you have Kirk as the youngest captain in however long? Because he was that good. That's why they put him there. He earned it. He earned it. Why Picard? He earned it. Why? Because they earned it. So that's the kind of mentality I grew up in. I looked at this idea of you kind of don't really need money at that point. You just need to actually, shine. If you have that ability to do it, shine. If you don't want to be the most known so-and-so and what's about it in the whole world, and you're just happy to sweep floors, well, hell, do it. We need it. What is wrong with that? Like, if you're called to do it, it needs to be done, right? It's why you're called to do it in the first place. So, I come at it from that kind of perspective. And when I get to the Bible and I look at tenths and stuff like this, and I look at Deuteronomy 6:5, I'm like, well, the tithe is literally just a tenth, and the whole of the Tanakh is 26.6%, not 10%. So, either we're going full Pharisee on this one and we have some clerical errors to discuss, or we're missing a point. And then when I get to stories like Acts about, nobody had this idea of, oh, it's mine. Just share and share alike. And, well, hey, you need it. Here. I've got it. You need it. I'm not using it. Have that. We can help each other. And so it's like, okay, so here's this. And then you get to Acts about the married couple, right? Cyrus and Sapphira, I think it is. The name's kind of... But they end up going, okay, we sold our property and we're going to tell them we got this much, but we're going to keep this much. And they go to Peter and they're like, here you go. And Peter's like, is this all of it? And they're like, yes, it is. Like, really? You're not lying to us, dude. We don't care. The money was yours to begin with. Do with it what you want. God is our provider. Not Caesar or some piece of paper or coin with his face on it. We don't give a damn. We're not of this world. We're merely in it. So why are you lying to God? What? Dead as a post. Because he was lying to God. God gave him the blessing of the money in the first place. It was his to do with him what? Because God wants a cheerful giver. If you want to go, okay, here's my exact 10% and I'm not giving a damn penny more. Okay, fine. It's rather religious-y in my opinion. Because when Deuteronomy 6:5, the first of the two commandments that all of the prophets in Torah rest upon, the most important, as Jesus himself said it, are Shema Israel, listen and respond, those who wrestle with God. Princes, children of God who wrestle with Him. Elohim Elchad, right? The plural God, singular, the three in one, right there in it. And you will listen, and you will love the Lord. That self-sacrificial choice, that agape way of doing it, with all of your lev, your mind, your emotions, your intent, your instinct, all of your nefesh, everything that goes in, everything that comes out. Your whole soul, because you are a nefesh. You don't have a nefesh. You are a soul. You don't have one. We're not Greek. And this is belief, right? And all of your ma'od, your muchness, your uniqueness, the veryness that makes you you. That's what we worship the Lord with. Who we love others with. Because when we are doing those, hey, God gave me this and I'm going to give it back in praise and offering. Hey, and we do that by loving others as we are loved by Him. That self-sacrificial love that dies in our place. So that when we're like, yep, you know what, I'm just going to let them have this parking space. I can walk the extra 20 feet. It's not worth the anger and the frustration. Oh, hey, you know what? You want the last donut? Have that. Just means that God's going to give me a better lunch somewhere else. Whatever it may be, trusting that the Lord sees to it. Because Annas and Sapphira, I'm pretty sure they're his names, then they're going, oh, hey, yeah, this is exactly what it is, all of it. Why'd you lie? Not to men. Why'd you lie to God? Why'd you say, yep, I'm going to give with everything I have, and then not? Give as a cheerful giver. Give because you've been given to, not because your arm is twisted, not because you're forced, not because it's a clerical thing. Money is the language of children in my eyes, in my book. Because as soon as you have gone, okay, hey, I'm taking all of this physical wealth and surrendering it to God and going, hey, this is this worldly function of language, right? Money makes the world go round, yaddy-daddy-do. Well, when you start surrendering the very thing God gave you that makes the world go round, you're making a declaration of faith that you're now saying, God makes my world go round. He's the one who sets it in motion. He's the one who guides my step. He's the one who leads my light. He's the one who leads my life. He is my source, my hope, my refuge, my shield, and my strength. So then it's no longer an accounting issue or a clerical thing. It's about devoting your whole self. Take it all. You gave it to me anyway. Where does the first breath come from? Where does the last breath go? What makes the motor tick? What causes the computer that runs on the power of a potato be able to produce the supercomputing that it does? In every brain, just because of the sheer amount of calculations that are required to keep the brain going to move. Yeah. There are damage points to the body, but you get to the core of the idea of saying, hey, take all of me. Money's the first place where that starts. Once you've understood that at its core, it becomes a place, well, of course we give everything. Of course we're the lady, the woman, the widow with the 2 bits, right? She gave more than she had. Well, of course it was logical for her to give it. Because the Messiah she was longing for, the king she needed, was right there, remembering her. Reminding us to remember her sacrifice, her trust, her act of faith, her Job moment of saying, still I will trust. That middle of the book of Lamentations song, still I will praise. I am counting on the Lord. He's my one. All I've got left. So when you get to the core of us, who are we? Take away the baggage, the labels, the everything else. That core is what he wants. To clean, to purify, to make whole. To make a new creation that can praise and live a life that is not interested in snatching after false trees, bad idols, or listening to a belt. Sorry for the note rope lovers. My mate is working me on liking them, like I said. Strangled when I was in 3rd grade by a boa, so I'm python, not a boa, but either way. Big snake, no, not fond. But can't blame the whole with the action of a 1. Some melodramatic hognose snake is not responsible for the act of a silly python that was simply trying to determine whether or not I was food or something to hug because it's a reptile. That's why I find money the language of children. Because when we start giving God our finances, when we give God truly all of us, we're not focusing in money anymore. It's not dollars and cents, it's peace and sense. So that we are truly at peace whether we have much or with little. Because it's easy to say that God is my everything while standing on a mountaintop. It's easy to say rejoice when you're living it up in Caesar's palace and in the highways and byways and known by everybody. It's another thing entirely to say rejoice when you are in a prison cell. Barely large enough for you to pace around in. Food handed through you through a window. Guards being told to rush along the people who are trying to help you out. Because in the eyes of the world, you are nothing and scum. That valley is a hard place to be. In those valley places, when you can rejoice, the world does with money doesn't matter. What happens to the economy doesn't matter. Because the employer is not where our help comes from. The power company is not the one who supplies the lights. The world around is not the one who is the source of our light or our life. If you don't believe me, look how many people are living in multi-story homes with everything the American dream has been made up to have to offer and have absolutely nothing. And people on the streets who are at peace. Because it has nothing to do with what's in the wallet and everything to do with what's in the heart. When you use your muchness, when you use your gifts, when you use everything you have to bless others around you, God shows it. And even if it doesn't happen in that moment, I'm certain that nobody in that widow's age remembered her. We don't have her name. We have her story. And that's what we pass on. Our testimony, our story, the places he met us. So that when the world says recession, we can say God is our provider. When the world says war, we say we serve the God of peace. When the world says famine, we say man does not live on bread alone. We are in this world. We are not of it. And we don't play its games. We never have and we never will. Because the world's game is taking the wrong fruit, smashing Abel's head in, and running away from a blessing of protection after going, hey, I screwed up. It's not about religion. It's about relationship. It's not about your 10%. It's about giving 100% of us to the God who gave 100% of himself when he died in our place. You don't need the language of what are you worth. God has told you more than you will ever know. You are loved, treasured, and adored. Why not try worshiping the one who adores you? Loving your first love and returning to the one who made you in the first place. He wants to be with you here, now. Genesis promise, right? That Genesis ideal. Cultivating the garden to make a place and playground where humanity can grow. You want garden living now? Lay it down. It's the moment you stop taking that apple, that fruit, that pomegranate, whatever form it may be, the moment you lay the fruit down, your hands are open to something more. Lift him up in praise and watch him fill you up as you let him in. Jesus is the way. Trust him to lead. I'll see you then.